whether you call it democracy or election result different from the real one, or transmission, transfusion, transition different from transparency. You are not far from the truth, but I hope the government will truly be a town hall different from Balablu. In 2007, late President Yar'Adua, in his inaugural speech, admitted that the election that brought him to office was far from being perfect, and subsequently set up the retired Justice Uwe's Committee on Electoral Reform. Whatever happened to the robust recommendation of that report that the appointment of INEC chairman, national commissioners, and resident electoral commissioners shouldn't be the sole prerogative of the president? Today, nobody is bothered again, and yet we expected an election different from Balablu. Anyway, that's our topic for another day. Even though, also, like the 2007 election, I'm aware that just like Professor Maurice Iwu's promises of conducting credible election, Professor Mahmoud Yakub's promises along the same line fell even lower than the expectations of Nigeria. However, because of the constitutional presumption of regularity in favor of INEC result as declared, I therefore congratulate everyone that has received a certificate of return, including Mr. President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while hailing the courage and resilience of those that have proceeded to the tribunal. I say at the end of the day, may Nigeria win. I've seen videos of the president-elect visiting captains of industries, former military leaders, and some traditional rulers, either with his certificate or without. But I want to urge him also to extend this visit to both Christians and Muslim clerics in the South because of the fears entertained in some quarters over his Muslim ticket. Because we certainly cannot shy away from the fact that our country has been so fractured along religious, tribal, and language fault lines, which also is patently reflected in not only our national life, but showed massively in the voting pattern and the complaint thereafter. Let him not be like Buhari, who promised to belong to everybody and nobody, but ended up allegedly belonging to nobody but a few certain cabals. Anyway, no be me talk. While Tinubu is on his visits, I hope he has selected his team. He should immediately set out his economic team to ensure timely realization of his blueprint and realizable action plans and programs with actualization dates and timeline to enable us follow up and also determine KPI as he has promised to hit the ground running. Make it not be like Buhari when he hit the ground and started running away from the ground. Well, since Buhari is hardly aware of anything, I also hope he should be aware that there's massive suffering in the land occasioned by his party's failure to fulfill their promises to the people. Even though his party no agree say they failed. But at least now, the intentional decapitalization policy of Emefiele's CBN has for once united both the politicians and the people as complainants. Everybody complain, no money. Even as the Naira is falling headlong and the country has become so unsafe to live. So he should put aside politics and strive to truly protect and provide for both those that gave him 95% vote and those that gave him 7% vote, if you know what I mean. He need not be told that the country needs to diversify its economy away from oil now more than ever before and truly ensure that NNPC is in words and in deed a profit-making ventures like the Saudi Arabia Aramco oil companies that just posted a profit of $161 billion in 2012. 2012, I mean to say. Also, with the prevailing economic hardship and the feeding bottle system of government we run, where states run to Abuja to share money every month, the reformation of the concurrent and exclusive legislative list and enhanced general welfare of the people deserve his urgent attention now more than ever before. We also cannot overflog the fact that his government need to create massive employment for our teeming youthful population and find way to not only export cassava, agbado, grains, and other agricultural produce, but also provide electricity that will enhance processing of these goods, boost food availability, industrial job creation, and improve manufacturing. Lastly, his government needs to ensure a statutory declaration that will ensure gender equality and participation in government, improve the security of lives and properties, and foster a truly renewed hope different from Balablu. May I also draw his attention to the fact that the undermentioned critical areas of our national lives need serious attention and revamping like yesterday. The Land Use Act, elevation of the value and dignity of the lives of every Nigerian above its current parlor state, fiscal federalism, state policing, fuel subsidy, our population census, local government, legislative and judicial autonomy, separation of religion from the state, issues of terrorism, kidnapping, open grazing and banditry. You name it. Don't just tell me the list is too much. Add your own as the team. Plenty. After all, he begged for the job. I will therefore advocate that until the incoming government builds bridges to unite, diversify the economy, and rekindle true hope in the people, and the people also putting their government on their toes to deliver on their campaign promises, soon we will not only be talking about a town hall different from Balablu, but our country will not be different from a Balablu. However, irrespective of our misgiving, we must collectively push, pressure, and work to make Nigerians succeed. Anyway, make I stop here for now until next week. But don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen and let us know if you agree or disagree with us. But in all, let's always be decorous. Lastly, I leave you with this. Never be afraid of your government. Instead, let the government be afraid of you. See you next week.